your eyes. It also goes with what you think you know about another person.
The personal experience that I had a couple of years ago was how I felt like I was out of place. And so having my Vietnamese hat on doesn't work either. And having my Buddhist guy doesn't help either. So what happened was is that my daughter Jennifer and I were at a Mexican restaurant, and everyone there was speaking Spanish, and everyone that was eating there spoke Spanish, and we were the only Caucasian people we thought there. And all of a sudden I felt like I was really out of place, and this was in Redwood City, and I thought how odd that was, and especially because I'm Portuguese. And so I'm wondering, where was all that coming from? That I felt like we were the only, she has blonde hair, my red hair, but we really felt for some reason out of place. But you know what? I brought that to the table. They didn't really do it to me. So I still think that there's something there that has to do with biases or with racism or prejudice. It's really interesting.
Well, I'm an Arab, and when I was growing up, people used to call me Arab. Very derogatory, offensive word, and feeling being uncomfortable. So that was, if I was in the 7th grade, I was going to AP Junior Nanny back in the late, I would say, early 80s. And that was it. I mean, it wasn't a good thing, but I moved on and I'm fine. But I did have an experience. The answer is yes.
And it's filled with blacks. But some things will never change. Try to show another way, but you're staying in the dope game. Now tell me what's a mother to do. Being real don't appeal to the brother in you. You gotta operate the easy way.
I made a G today,
but you made it in a sleazy way. Sell it back to the kid.
I gotta get paid.
Oh, hey. Well, that's the way it is.
Oh no, honey. Thank you. No, don't shut.
Move. Excuse me. Blacks that way?
Yes, ma'am.
Gee, man.
Yes, sir.
Black people these days. Tell me about it.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
We thought we were going to school. We did not know that we were going to run headlong into the American white supremacist, black-hating people.
It's not right. They have bush just as good as ours. So we don't have a choice like they do. See, they can go to ours and they can go to their own, but we have to go the right to it. We have the right to do. Liquor's our the only one that have the right.
When I was a college student, I lived in Spain for a year. In one of the towns I was in, they had spray paint to the wall, and in Spanish it said, "Kill Jews, I'm Jewish." And also, I lived in a pension with other students, and the woman that owned the house used to talk every now and then about Jews like they were monsters, and she didn't know that I was Jewish. And I was very hurt by all of that. And when I was a young girl, 12 years old, my family and I went out to dinner to a town that probably didn't have any Jewish people in it. And we went to the restaurant, it was empty. We asked for a table, and they told my father that the restaurant was full, even though the restaurant was empty. And when my dad said, well, these tables are empty, and the maitre d' said, they're all reserved, we're not serving you people.
Had
different experiences with racism, but the one thing that I remember the most was on 9/11. I was in high school. I think I was a sophomore in high school. And I remember we went to school that morning when it happened. And we huddled into a room and we were watching what had happened on TV because everybody was, you know, really interested and scared about what was going on. And I remember during our break periods we were walking in the halls and a few of the kids yelled out some racist things to us like, oh, you guys are terrorists. Camel riders, whatever, just stupid, ignorant comments. And we just felt like we couldn't be at school because we felt like people were just being mean to us for no reason and being very ignorant. So we just left school that day and then we went back to school the next day and the comments were still happening and we got into a lot of confrontations with people. And so that's when our parents got involved with the principal and the vice principal and we had like an assembly about racism and what was going on, you know, in the world at that time. And ever since then, it didn't happen, but I could tell that people were still thinking that we were terrorists.
The seal and the Constitution reflect the thinking of the founding fathers that this was to be a nation by white people and for white people. Native Americans, blacks, and all other non-white people were to be the burden bearers for the real citizens of this nation.